Hi everyone, and welcome to the Fluent Minds podcast. I'm John, your host for today.
And I'm Emily, your co-host. We're so excited to have you here. If you're looking to improve your English speaking skills, you're in the right place.
That's right. Today, we're diving into a fascinating topic that can take your English fluency to the next level. It's all about thinking smart and speaking fluent.
Now, let me ask you this. Have you ever felt stuck when trying to speak English, even though you know the words? Or maybe you catch yourself translating from your native language, which slows you down and makes speaking feel awkward?
If that sounds familiar, don't worry, you're not alone. These are challenges that so many English learners face, and we're here to help you overcome them.
By the end of this episode, you'll have practical tips and strategies to feel more confident when speaking English.
And here's the fun part. Stay with us until the end, because we've got a special challenge for you. It's a simple, yet powerful activity that you can try today to start thinking and speaking in English more naturally.
So, grab your coffee, tea, or whatever keeps you motivated, and let's get started.
Let's do it. Now that we've introduced today's topic, let's dive into the first step toward speaking English fluently: thinking smart.
That's right, John. Thinking smart is all about training your brain to organize your thoughts clearly and directly in English.
Let's start with the basics. Have you ever noticed how much easier it is to talk when your thoughts are clear?
Absolutely. When your mind is cluttered or you're overthinking, it's like trying to drive through heavy traffic. It's slow and frustrating. But when your thoughts are well organized, your words flow smoothly, like cars on an open highway.
That's such a great analogy, Emily. One of the biggest obstacles English learners face is the habit of thinking in their native language first, then translating into English.
Exactly. This extra step not only slows you down but also makes your sentences sound awkward or unnatural. The key is to train your brain to think directly in English.
And the benefits? Oh, there are plenty. First, you'll save time because you're skipping the translation process. Second, it helps you focus on the flow of your conversation instead of overanalyzing every word.
And third, it builds confidence. When you think in English, you feel more connected to the language, and that makes speaking so much easier.
Now, let's move on to some practical tips. Emily, where should our listeners begin?
A great place to start is by keeping it simple. Instead of constructing complex sentences in your head, focus on small, manageable thoughts.
For example, if you're looking at a cup of coffee, think, "This is coffee. It's hot. I like coffee." These short sentences are easy to process and help you build confidence.
Absolutely. And once you're comfortable with simple sentences, you can start adding more details. For instance, "This is coffee. It's hot and smells amazing. I drink it every morning."
That's a fantastic tip. Here's another one. Try associating words with visuals or emotions. For example, if you're learning the word happy, don't just memorize it. Picture a moment that made you feel happy, like celebrating a birthday or spending time with loved ones.
I love that idea. Creating a personal connection with the word makes it more meaningful and easier to remember.
Exactly. And speaking of connections, let's talk about mindful listening. When you listen to fluent speakers, pay attention to how they form sentences, their tone, and even the way they pause naturally.
That's such an important point. Listening actively is a great way to absorb the rhythm and flow of the language. And don't just listen passively, repeat what you hear. Mimic the sentences, either in your head or out loud.
Right, Emily. It's like a mini conversation with yourself. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes.
To sum up this section, start with simple sentences, connect words to emotions or visuals, and practice active listening. These small steps can make a big difference in how you think in English.
That's a perfect summary. Coming up next, we'll move on to strategies for speaking fluently. Stay with us.
So far, we've talked about thinking smart and how organizing your thoughts directly in English can make speaking so much easier.
Exactly, Emily. Now, it's time to take the next step, speaking fluently. This is where all that clear thinking we've been practicing starts to shine.
Right. But before we dive into strategies, let's clear up a common misconception about fluency.
Yes, many learners think that being fluent means speaking quickly, like a native speaker. But fluency isn't about speed, it's about clarity and confidence.
That's so true, John. Speaking fluently means your words flow naturally and your listener can understand you easily. Even if you speak at a moderate pace, you can still be fluent as long as your sentences are clear and coherent.
And one of the best ways to achieve that clarity is to embrace natural pauses. Taking short pauses gives you time to organize your thoughts and makes your speech easier for others to follow.
Absolutely. Now that we know what fluency really means, let's explore some practical strategies to help our listeners speak more fluently.
The first strategy is to stop translating in your head. I know this can be tough, especially if you're used to thinking in your native language.
That's right. Translating can slow you down and lead to awkward sentences. Instead, try using simple words or phrases if you don't know a more complex way to express yourself. For example, instead of saying, "I am absolutely delighted to meet you," you can say, "I'm happy to meet you."
Exactly. Simplicity is key when you're building fluency. Once you're comfortable, you can gradually expand your vocabulary and expressions.
Another great tip is to practice speaking every day. Even if you don't have a partner, you can talk to yourself.
That's such a powerful habit. You can describe what you're doing, like, "I'm brushing my teeth," or "I'm making coffee." Or, you can read aloud from a book or an article to get used to forming sentences.
And if you want to take it a step further, try shadowing. This is when you listen to someone speak, maybe in a podcast or video, and repeat their sentences immediately after, mimicking their tone and rhythm.
Shadowing is a fantastic way to train your brain and mouth to work together. It's almost like practicing alongside a fluent speaker.
And here's an important reminder: don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Absolutely, Emily. Mistakes are a natural part of learning. Instead of worrying about them, treat them as opportunities to grow. Every mistake you make is a step closer to fluency.
That's such an important mindset. And remember, even native speakers make mistakes, it's how we all learn.
To recap, focus on speaking clearly rather than quickly, stop translating in your head, practice speaking every day, try shadowing, and embrace your mistakes.
Great summary, John. Coming up next, we'll share a fun challenge to put everything you've learned so far into action. Stay tuned.
Now that we've covered the importance of thinking smart and speaking fluently, It's time to put everything into action.
That's right, John. We've got a simple but powerful activity that can help you practice both thinking and speaking in English. We call it the 1-minute challenge.
Here's how it works. First, choose a simple topic. It could be something like your daily routine, your favorite food, or even a recent movie you watched.
Once you've picked your topic, set a timer for 1 minute. Your goal is to speak continuously about that topic for the entire minute without stopping.
Don't worry about making mistakes or using perfect grammar. The key is to keep talking. If you get stuck, use fillers like, let me think, or even repeat your last sentence until a new idea comes to mind.
And remember to keep it simple. For example, if your topic is your daily routine, you can say something like, I wake up at 7 a.m. I brush my teeth. I eat breakfast. I go to work. Once you're comfortable, you can add more details, like, I eat eggs and toast for breakfast, and I drink coffee.
Now, here's the fun part. After you finish your 1-minute challenge, try recording yourself while speaking.
Listening to your recording can be a bit uncomfortable at first, but it's such a valuable way to improve. Pay attention to a few key areas.
Exactly. And don't forget to celebrate your progress. Even if you only manage to say a few simple sentences, that's already a big step forward.
If you notice areas for improvement, don't be discouraged. Instead, focus on one thing at a time. For example, if you struggled with pronunciation, spend a few minutes practicing those words.
Remember, it's completely normal to feel awkward or frustrated at first. Learning a language is a journey, and every small effort brings you closer to fluency.
That's so true, John. And here's the best part. By practicing this challenge regularly, you'll notice improvements in your confidence, fluency, and ability to think in English.
So, here's your mission. Pick a topic, set a timer, and try the 1-minute challenge today.
And don't forget to let us know how it went. You can leave a comment or even share your recording with us if you're feeling brave.
We'd love to hear about your experience. Coming up next, we'll wrap up today's episode with some final takeaways and a motivational message. Stay tuned.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Let's quickly recap what we've covered.
Sure, Emily. We started by talking about thinking smart, which helps you organize your thoughts and think directly in English. This makes speaking more natural and effortless.
Then, we discussed strategies for speaking fluently. Remember, it's not about speaking quickly, it's about speaking clearly and confidently. And daily practice is the key to building that confidence.
That's right. We also introduced the 1-minute challenge, a simple and effective way to practice thinking and speaking in English.
Now, here's our message to you. Fluency is a journey, not a destination. Every small step you take, whether it's completing today's challenge, learning a new word, or speaking a single sentence, brings you closer to your goal.
So stay patient, stay consistent, and most importantly, believe in yourself. You're closer to fluency than you think.
We encourage you to try the challenge today. Choose a topic, set a timer, and speak for 1 minute. And don't forget to record yourself. It's a great way to track your progress.
And we'd love to hear from you. Share your experience with us in the comments below or tell us how you're practicing.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes.
And don't forget to share this podcast with anyone who's learning English. Let's build a community of learners who support and inspire each other.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Keep practicing, stay confident, and remember, every effort counts.
See you in the next episode.
Bye for now.